I'm Butterfly, and you're watching Women Krump Wednesdays.
Woman Krump Wednesday.
Woman Krump Wednesday. Women Krump Wednesday.
Hi, I'm Butterfly, and you are watching Women Krump Wednesdays. Today, I will be highlighting Mystique, aka Mad Rap, aka Aunt Val, but her real name Valerie. Hey, Pooh.
You're gonna have to excuse my baby in the background. He just ratchet.
It's fine.
Can you get him real quick or something?
Get excited.
He just seen his daddy. Like he ain't seen him all day.
Oh, okay.
Aiden!
I understand that feeling. So, before we get started, was there anything that you would like to tell the audience about yourself?
No. I feel like everybody kind of knows me. If they don't know me, they've heard of me one way or another, some way, somehow in the movement. I'm a like major supporter. I mean, that's the best way to describe myself. I kind of got into Krump because of the person that I was dating at the time, and it just kind of went from there.
Thank you. Okay. All right. So, how long have you been around the Krump world?
Since 2013. So what, that's 6 years now? Like I came around June of 2013. That's when I first started dating Disco, aka Chaos. And my first event that I actually went to was an event in San Antonio. It was called it's Hybrid's event. I know that. I forgot what it was called though. It was a really dope event in San Antonio. And so that was my little first little Krump road trip. That was cool. And then my first resurrection was actually the Resurrection 4, which was April of 2014. So that's kind of when I really, really just started paying attention to it and decided that I was going to kind of find my way around and figure out what I wanted to do in the movement. So I had like my own name and my own, everything. I was never going to be like the little cheerleading girlfriend, like, go baby, go. You know what I'm saying? So I knew I had to find something, just to make my own mark.
Nice. So where does your passion and support for the Krump culture stem from?
It's for me, it was a lot easier because I was in love with somebody that did Krump. So it was easy for me to like be at all of his sessions and events, and it was a new relationship too though. A lot of people don't know, but me and Disco have been knowing each other since we were 11. So we never dated in school, but we've been friends for that long. So when we actually started kind of dating when we were grown, I just wanted to be a part of everything he was a part of. And I'm just a genuine and loyal friend. So as I made additional friends that became brothers and sisters, just my support of them, it was very important to me. So I'm just kind of stuck now.
So you do a lot of events and stuff now. Do Is that something that you do outside of Krump as well?
I've thrown events before. before Krump, but it's not what I do in my everyday like occupation. I'm actually a mortgage underwriter, and I do compliance work on the back end for underwriters. So I handle contracts all day. So that's kind of where the marketing and promotion side comes in at, and that's also where I'm so demanding when it comes to these dancers actually getting some form of contract to make sure that they're compensated properly. But no, like throwing dance events, that's never been my thing. The most that I've ever done as far as dance was concerned, I tell people all the time I was a cheerleader all the way through college. I was a competition cheerleader. So I'm used to being in competitions. I'm used to being in big venues. I'm used to being judged. So I was used to that part of the dance world, not necessarily like what Krump is.
That's something I didn't know. So I'm happy. I learned something new. Um, uh, yeah. So, about the contracts and stuff. So, yeah, you do that for your living too. So where? No, that's not it. What I was gonna ask. But so how did you become like a manager, like of some of the crumpers out there?
It's just because they kept asking, honestly. I really didn't want to do that. And people don't know that, like, I always put like the Soldier Boy memes up all the time, but like I really love him. You know what I'm saying? And I really pay attention to a lot of the stuff he says. He's a clown, of course. But if you ever really listen to him when he halfway talking like he got some sense, he's very business minded. He's one of the first artists that actually took on the internet wave and became a millionaire. And one of the things that he said in one of his interviews was he was talking about a lot of the people that he actually put on. One of the Breakfast Club hosts asked him, like, why didn't he manage them, sign them, get contracts with them? And he was basically like, I never wanted anybody else's career in my hands, because if it fails, then we both
Mm,
fail. And the failure is more so on me if I take on like all of these different clients, and become their manager in Krump. And
hmm.
another thing with that is I've had to explain to people, not to water down Krump, but Krump is like in its own dimension. So I can't manage 20 dancers from the same community, because at some point somebody's going to be shorted. Because if somebody contacts me and they need a Krump
Yeah,
dancer, I would always be having to send the same, selection of people if I'm really basing it off of skill set, and what they have going on. So the first person that I'm actually really going to do some major things with next year is Dread. A lot of people think I manage disco, but I don't. I don't manage JYG. I don't manage Antics. I don't manage Rapture. Now, Rapture is one of the first people, because he's my big homie, of course, that I actually started, talking about different contracts with, and making sure that he's taken care of, but not on a manager role, just because that's somebody I love. Like, that's my big
yeah,
homie. We have a real relationship. So that's where that came from. And of course, I'm just going to make sure disco and antics are good no matter what. But Dread is somebody
yeah,
that people are really going to be able to see me work with and see me do different things with, to see, to show them when you do have a manager, how it's supposed to go. Because I have a job too. Dread is just supposed to show up, perform, be professional. You know what I'm saying? Secure the bag. But I have to
yeah,
work for Dread. It isn't just like, oh, I'm your manager, so yeah, run me my 15%. So we'll see.
yeah. Okay, nice. Uh, sorry. Oh, so as a woman moving around in the like Krump culture, like have you like noticed any like anything like with when dealing with like business and stuff within the culture that people like kind of push you to the side or whatever?
I mean, not me,
Anything like that?
but I do feel like it's harder for women in any movement. Not even just Crump. I feel like it just goes back to the way society is. A lot of people feel like women are supposed to play a certain role. So I'm not going to say it's a disrespect thing, but it's more so of a Crump is a very male dominated dance. So a lot of times the females have to do 10 times more just to get the same credit that one male dancer would get doing 10 times less. You know what I'm saying? And I mean, people don't understand. I was raised with an older brother. I was raised as a tomboy. I mean, outside of the whole cheerleader thing, everything else about my life was being at the park, fighting with my brother, jumping over fences. You know what I'm saying? So, like, when I'm in a room full of males, like, I'm not intimidated at all. And I don't even want to be intimidating to them. But because of how I was raised and the culture that I came from, it's a lot easier for me to get things done. And, you know, I just told somebody the other day, thankfully in this movement, I have never had anyone disrespect me. I've never had anyone come in me sideways or crazy. I've never had nobody try and be slick and try and, you know, do some little old shady shit on the side. Like, it's just the way you carry yourself. And if you carry yourself in a certain manner, then people don't have a choice but to respect it.
Feel that. All right. What are some like difficulties or things you had to adjust to when being in a relationship with someone who's a full-time crumper?
Not really. I love to travel, so it actually worked out. I was traveling all over the world before we really got serious. So traveling for Krump, I was just like, oh, okay, well, we can make this like, you know, a couple's vacation. The only thing that I would say that sometimes gets in the way is I can honestly say, like, in all of these years, a lot of our vacations, quote unquote, you know what I'm saying? They are surrounded around Krump.
Yeah.
So we can, I mean, we'll be packing our bags. We'll put, you know, I got my stilettos in there. He got his, you know, button down. And then when we get there, we don't do nothing but Krump. So sometimes I think being in a relationship, the advice I would give to anybody is just to make sure that you also make time, you make as much time for your relationship as you make for Krump. Because I want this though to be talked about amongst the greatest. You know what I'm saying? Like when people talk about dancers from the South, I never want them to not mention his name. So because that's something that I want for him, I'm not as selfish in certain areas in my relationship because I know that that's going to mean that he's going to have to travel. He's going to have to be gone. Like I had a baby and he was literally gone and booked literally across the states 7 days later with a 7-day-old baby, you know, but I didn't feel left alone. I didn't feel like, oh my God, I can't believe he left me. Like it was something we talked about. He was like, are you sure? Are you going to be good? And I want so much for him and I want greatness for him until a lot of times that I sacrifice a lot.
Okay. Um, Thank you for sharing that because I know there's a lot of people that have like difficulties with trying to balance Krump and especially if they're not a crumper
Right.
themselves. Because being a crumper, like you kind of understand, like, but then a lot of these people have like significant others that aren't crumpers, like guys and girls, and they be like, well, I just don't get why you're always like,
Yep.
why you got a session, why you got to do this, why you got to do that. Like, I need your time, like, you know. So thank you for that insight. Um,
Are you good?
Sorry, I keep like spacing out.
I don't know, you're good.
uh, oh, so I think I already asked this question, but how did you find your lane as a non-crumper? Yeah, I think we already
Yeah.
answered that. But
Hold on,
either,
girl.
yeah, so yeah. So is there like any advice that you want to give to anybody out there
The only
as
thing that
far
I can
as
say
like,
is no, you're fine. The only advice that I would give male crumpers, female crumpers, children crumpers, stay true to who you are. In this movement, I saw a lot of snake shit go on, and it's not because of Krump. I always tell people that all the time. I've been involved in many different dance scenes. I've been involved in many different groups, and it's just stuff that happens. You know, you're hot one day, you're not one day, and you'll always tell who your real friends are, who your real family is. I tell people all the time, pay attention to the jokes, because a lot of time the jealousy is in the jokes. I say that all the time. You just really need to surround yourself around people that want what's best for you. Never attach yourself to someone that wants to keep you in a pigeon coop and hold you. You know, have you ever heard that saying that people want you to do good but never better than them? Like, I really, really, really like look at people that way, and I look at my surroundings and make sure I'm around people that want to see me win. You know what I'm saying? Because if you know me as a person, you know if I win, my whole team wins. And everybody doesn't have that, you know, so you
Yeah.
have to stay true to yourself and make it your business not to attach yourself to a person to benefit you or for their benefit, because it goes both ways.
Mm-hmm. All right, thank you. So yeah, I wanted to like tell you why I chose
Okay.
you to be one of my like first people. So like just your like persona, like your energy and all that stuff, like on the Crumpers page and on the like Women in Crump page, like just like really like pulled me in, and I was like, okay, I'm like I call her Aunt Val, even though like I don't really know her like that. A lot of people call her Aunt Val. They don't really know her, but like I feel like you're an actual aunt. Like I feel like you're one of my like actual aunts, like my dad or mom's sister
Yeah,
type of
I'm
thing.
I'm
So
I'm
like
good. I'm good with
and like
it.
and then like you were like, yeah, well, when I meet you, like we gotta take a picture. And then I met you and we actually took a picture. I'm like, yeah, we like actually did it. Like, because it's like
Yep.
a lot of people that say things to me and things never happen. So like,
Right.
I like that you keep your word. You're always professional, even when you like doing your
Gotta
thing.
cuss people out. You can
Like,
say it. Yeah,
uh,
even when I gotta get ratchet, I still be professional. It's okay.
yeah, so even, I was like, even when you be doing your thing, you still know how to bring it back, and I respect
Hmm.
that because
Thank you so
um,
much.
on the inside, I'm like that.
Yeah, I'm a lot of people's spirit animal. A lot of
Yeah,
people can't say like what I say with my mouth. They be wanting to, it just don't come out right. So I got you.
for sure. See, that's why you my Aunt Belle. Oh, how did
Yeah.
that name come about?
You know what's crazy? This is gonna sound so crazy. That actually came from AD. Like, AD was the first person to start calling me Aunt Val consistently. Believe it or not, with all the drama that we've had going on over the years, and it kind of just stuck. And because he said it so much, everybody else just kind of picked it up. Like, well, I want her to be my auntie too, you know. So it just kind of, yeah. But it definitely started from Brims, and it just kind of caught fire after that.
That's dope. Um, yeah. Is there anything like as far as like professionalism or like for
Hmm.
events? There's like a lot of people that are throwing
They need to
events for their
stop.
first
They
time.
need to stop. Like, I'm so tired. Like, it's an event every week, every month. It's tiring, and these events are they're getting. That's a whole nother episode. But and I'm not one of them type of people. I'm not never gonna tell nobody to stop their bag. But I want people to know, when you throw an event the right way, you don't make a lot of money. At most, a lot of people, what they do is they make their money back to where they're not in the negative. A lot of people don't know, when I threw the first dirty, I was in the negative. When I threw the second dirty, I kind of broke even. The third dirty is when I kind of saw some money back, but then once I started doing the calculations, it's like, oh, well, you're just not broke. You know what I'm saying? You really have to pay attention to
Yeah.
what you're doing, who you're booking, who you're paying, how many people you're bringing out, what venue you're going to have. It's so much that goes with these events. You know what I'm saying? And people just kind of try and throw them together and put faces on a flyer. Like, they don't know, like, all of that shit matters. your promotional stuff matters. The flyers matter. Like sometimes I don't even want to share these flyers because they're so trash. You know what I'm saying? And I'm like, it's the little bitty details that bring people into these events. And I mean, like I said, I play a lot, but I would never tell anybody like stop your bag. But at the end of the day, if you want to represent Krump, then you need to do it the right way because it's already not respected on a very high professional dance level anyway. So you want people to be able to come into any event or see a clip from any event and be like, damn, I don't really know too much about this dance, but the atmosphere is dope. It's, you know what I'm saying, 400 people in there. I mean, it may look like they fighting, but everybody having fun. And like this year has not been a good year for events to me. It's just been like, yeah, okay. You know, so I mean, shout out to Dead End though, because him and his whole fam, DS3 was amazing. But like I said, Dead End spent a lot of money. The Dead End fam, they really put their money where their mouth was. You know what I'm saying? They didn't play no games. They didn't take no shortcuts. They didn't cut no corners. None of that. Shout out to Solo. The EXP hasn't even got here yet, but just the fact of somebody giving away $5,000 in a tournament, like that's somebody putting their money where their mouth is. He may not even get enough people to sign up for that tournament to cover the $5,000, but he's still making it happen. And, you know, Dylan, he does Absolute Zero every year. He had a $1,500 cash prize. Like, and he really puts a lot into these events. The venue was dope. The people there were dope. Tight Eyes was there. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not saying I'm the only person that can do it because there's so many people that came before me that did it. Disco used to throw events before we even dated. Here comes Puda. Disco used to throw events before we even started dating. And then, you know, hello. And then they started doing the resurrection.
Hi.
The resurrection is dope. Al and the Tips, they put a lot of work into the resurrection. You know what I'm saying? They bring out the right people. They do the right workshop. So, I mean, there's people out here that can do it. Millie is another person doing the East session, traveling with that. I mean, every time I see an East session, I think it's super, super, super dope. Monique and the Wonder Women. You know, it's just so many people. And again, I'm not saying it's only a certain number of people that can do it. LeVar with the KBL, Tight Eyes with the Buckster event. I mean, you know, it's just people just need to look at what's going on, take heed to what's going on, take notes, because that's what I did. I looked at all of these events. I took something that I liked from each of them, and then I threw my own. You know, I mean, even the Queen session, I wasn't there, but it looked different. It looked dope. They had Miss Prissy there. You know, women came together. They battled each other. It wasn't no flexing. It wasn't no funny business. You know, that's what people need to look to and be about, just in my opinion.
Okay. Thank you.
You're welcome.
So yeah, I think that's all that I have.
Okay. That's
for
actually
you,
perfect
but,
timing, 'cause I got to take somebody to work. All
Okay,
right.
perfect.
Well, thank you so much.
Thank you for
Say bye-bye,
spending your
Puda.
time with me in this interview.
Say bye-bye, Puda.
Bye.
All right.
Fuck 'em out. Fuck 'em out.